Welcome back to DR Sports for another enthralling debate. This time, it's the revised predictions show. It's myself, Matisse, James, and Fuad, and it's less of a roundtable debate, more of a semi-pentagon debate. There's my... what even is that? Algebra? I don't even know. But let's get on to this one then. It's the top 6, and now we are in September, mid-September, so we're going to do our revised predictions of the top 6 and the bottom 3. Let's start at the top of the table with Fuad and your top 6, and we'll go around the table.
It's crazy because I'm actually having to revise my champions because before we even kicked the ball, I was thinking Liverpool. Now it's looking like City, man. I thought it was Liverpool's best chance, having seen City offload Jesus, Sterling. I thought they haven't got the bodies there. They're going to maybe rely on Haaland too much. This is probably your best chance to get at them. But the way they've started... Haaland,
but do you think even,
undeniable.
Yes, he's had an incredible start, and you have to take your hat off. We've just done another debate on how good he is. There's no doubt about that. But at this stage, are they too reliant on Haaland already? And if he does get an injury, who is going to score those goals for them?
I still think City have shown over the last 2 years we can do it without him if need be.
But it'll only be 2-0 instead of 4-0.
The fact that they've got him now, I feel like it's. I've always said goals is currency in no matter what you do.
For
and
sure.
if you've got a goal scorer like that,
so they're
it's hard
top.
to stop. So for me, they're top. Oh, this is where it gets murky because I would have had Liverpool second, but I don't know right now. Right now, that second I feel like is up for grabs, and I'll go Liverpool because I think you lot will find your form and find your rhythm, and I expect Darwin at some point to activate a burst of 10 or 12 at some point. So I think you guys second. This is where it gets interesting. Third, I'm going to go for Ten Hag's Red Devils.
Whoa. You're not backing your boys.
I'm going to go for Ten Hag's Red Devils. I think they got something cooking over there.
All right.
And I think it's on low heat right now. I said
think it's gone off.
When he came in, I said, that's a great manager. When I saw Martinez come in, I said, Then I saw Casemiro, Anthony. I said, Sancho's looking a little bit alive. I said, Rashford finding some goals. There's a lot of going on at Old Trafford. So I'm watching this space. Chelsea is where I was thinking 4th, but I'm thinking maybe Arsenal.
Well, where's your team gone?
Is it my predictions or your predictions?
Barcelona fan.
You can say your predictions when you like, boys. So 4th, I will lead with Chelsea, actually. I think Tim Pot will find some rhythm at some point. I think one thing Chelsea have shown is whenever they go through some kind of drama show, within that same season, they will bounce back and leave with something.
Yeah.
Whether it's an FA Cup, a Champions League.
They never leave the dance empty-handed,
Yes.
really.
So for me, I think
They'll
Chelsea...
grab a plate of leftovers or
yeah,
something.
Chelsea have not declined to the point where they're going to drop out of
They'll
the
get
top
the
4
last
picture.
bit of fruit punch.
Yeah.
and
they
they'll
leave with
leave.
something.
They're having a
So I
look around
think
going,
4th.
well, we've got to take something, so
I
go
think
on,
this
you'll
could
do.
be the year Arteta gets the chop, where he ends up in 6th. I would say us with 5th, and I would say purely because Conte has milked us every ounce. Because as I've said many a times, I think with the start of the season, if you've watched our team, it's been the performances have not been there, but the results have been. We just lost midweek against Sporting, and I think that was
Fossil
kind of
football,
Yeah,
according
I
to
think that was
expressions.
the first kind of reality check for Spurs fans. Like,
Not a lot
if
of
we
clean
don't
sheets
win,
either, no.
And yeah, so for me, I think it's one of those. The defense is still looking a bit iffy. Creatively, we don't look all that. Son hasn't hit form yet, so there's a lot of working pieces. I think January is where we have to actually the most to gain if we activate. So for me, I think we could miss
Just
out
run
on top
through
4.
them again, the top 6.
City, Liverpool, United, Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal.
Wow.
Interesting. Right, I am going to go with, I think at the start of the season, through, how we ended last season, I would have gone for a Liverpool win, but no, it's changed. It's revised. That's what this video is about. It's about admitting your sins and moving on with life. And unfortunately for me, those sins included predicting Liverpool would win the league, and I don't think they're going to do that now. However, they still do have, as you said, enough in the tank that we haven't even seen yet.
Yeah.
And across the season, you'd have to back them to come back. Big lads are coming back from injury, etc., etc. So I'm going to go with Liverpool to finish second still. Now, this is where it gets techie, because I'm going with Arsenal to finish third.
It's tricky top
I'm
4,
going
man.
with Arsenal
Why-
to
why
finish
Arsenal?
third. I just think they were 1 point away from 4th last season. And I truly believe that adding Zinchenko and Jesus not only guarantees you 4th, but you can tickle with third if you've got them two firing on all cylinders
Guarantees.
as well. I would say so. Now, I have seen that obviously Zinchenko's out for 2 weeks, little muscle injury. But if we're talking about Haaland, if he carries on, if Jesus carries on how he started, I do
many
think
goals
we
he got?
could see at least 20 from him.
4.
I do think we could see at least 20 from him.
The
So
thing is,
Saka
I
needs
do
to
think-
find
I do
his
think
feet,
he adds
though.
goals. The question I ask is some of their players will be going to the World Cup, of course. They also have Europe this year, which is different from last year.
and this is the test that
that.
Arteta has to.
So that could
Pass
deduct
this
points.
That's what I'm saying. So for me, that kind of bounce back from midweek, especially because it's Thursday as well, it's closer to the Premier
Yeah.
League games. As a Spurs fan, trust me, I remember them Europa League games were taxing. We never used to win post-Europa League, yeah. So for me, I think that's where this year, I had Arsenal in the top 4 start of the season. Then I remember, Europe, actually, that's going to play a part.
Okay. So
I
how I'm
think
going to justify that is by saying third and fourth, there's literally nothing
between them. Yeah,
between them.
I think, from fourth,
so
fifth,
in
and
terms
sixth.
of that fourth place, and again, you obviously the options here are Chelsea, Tottenham, or United. I think fourth place goes. I think it just about goes to Chelsea. Just again, it's the whole leaving without nothing. It just doesn't happen with Chelsea. No, you could have,
And
they
you know
have-
we're going to
they-
spend in January.
and of course, they're going to spend in January, but you know that they always leave with something, whether we like it or not. So I'm going to go Chelsea fourth, United and Spurs toss up between fifth and sixth. And again, we have to remember that United are in Europe as well this season. So as much as that affects Arsenal, it affects United. But I think Arsenal's squad just edges them above United. And maybe there isn't anything between that fourth and fifth team either. Maybe it's a point. Maybe it's 2 points.
Yeah, that's what I think.
So I'm going to go with United then Spurs. But I did at the start of the season, I would
Spurs
never have
sixth.
said Spurs sixth.
Wow.
I would never have said
I
that.
was
So
telling
again,
everyone.
revised. So I've gone City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, United, Tottenham. Let us know in the comments if you agree or disagree. James, the tune.
I think first, easy City. And the way you're saying it's going to be so tight with the rest, I think City are going to cruise
How many
through.
points do you think they win the league
I
by?
think 15, 20 points. I think they could be
So they could break
potentially
Liverpool's record of when we finished 21 points above
I don't
City.
think
It's
they'll
the
do
biggest
that.
gap.
They could do. They
You
could
think
do.
so?
You
World
think
Cup
it's
year?
going to be tight?
I don't
Can
know.
you
I don't
see
think it'll be
anyone
tight.
running them close.
No, I don't think it'll be tight, but I don't think City are going to do 98, 99, 100. They're not going to do that.
With
I think
Haaland in their team, I
87,
think
88,
it's
But,
a man.
but look,
80 something.
Haaland scored
World Cup year.
what, 1 or 2 against Newcastle the other week. They ended up drawing that 3-3.
they did.
So they will drop.
They've dropped points this season.
They will
They've
drop
drew
points.
twice.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to do that type
They've
of
only
points.
just gone top today.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
a matter of who do you see that's going to get anywhere close.
no one's
to
getting
them.
near
They're
them.
all going to take
Sweet.
points
So
off each other from second.
First City. So who have you got
City
after?
first. Second, it's a tough one. I want to say Liverpool, but I don't think I can. That midfield for me is too weak. You've got too much. You've got either a real lack of experience or people that are OAPs in there that can't move around the pitch. So for me, it's an unlikely one, but I think you might see Chelsea sneak in there. I think you might under Graham Potter. I think
hear
you
it.
will. I think Chelsea
hear
could
it.
could have a good run in there. I like Raheem Sterling. I know a lot of people question him. I think that was a great signing. I think he started to turn it on recently. You saw in the Champions League. I know you didn't win, but for me, I thought he was one of your more impressive players. You can see the experience, the quality shining through. He's always driving you forward.
Can I?
Can you what? You disagree with Chelsea second, or
can
you
I
agree?
revise my revise?
No.
At the
At the
He's
end.
trying
No,
it
you
again.
can't do this
He backed
again.
out with you in the first.
no,
He's
no.
backing out.
You're
I'm
set.
starting to
You're
look
set.
at your boys a bit funny, you know.
You're set. You're set.
Because I'm hearing a lot of what you're saying about Liverpool finishing second. Because I'm like, I'm not sure even that's guaranteed. They've got basically Diaz has to start hitting goals.
Yeah.
He
which
is.
he is. Yeah. Nunes
goal
has to hit the
scorer.
ground running. The midfield has to pick up. Trent has
But
to pick up.
Nunes has
form
to
back.
get the
Van
delivery
Dijk
from the
has to
midfield.
get back the levels. I'm
Yeah.
like, there's so much.
defense-
that Liverpool
Matip
right
there,
now-
needs
though.
to stay fit.
Yeah, there's so
Konate
much.
needs to
So
get
many
back fit.
pieces within Liverpool though are kind of falling apart, and where those replacements should have been kind of coming in, Konate stepping in, Thiago kind of freshening up that midfield. He's going through injury issues.
He's back
You just
now.
feel like, you just
Not
feel
picked
like
for
though,
Spain
it's
as
not.
well.
You just
which
feel
is
like though
good
it's
for
not
us.
really clicking at the moment, and I don't know if they will, but I hear
So
it.
we're
I hear
only
it.
up to second with you now.
We're only up
Let's
to
rattle
second.
through these.
So third place, I think, will be Man United. I know. I think
Above
Ten
Liverpool.
Ten Hag's
I think they
Hag's
will.
got them playing some good football.
Trust me.
I think, like you said, Sancho's starting to improve. Anthony, I think that's going to be a big signing. And Anthony, by the way, I think this could be key. He really reminds me of Rafinha, not in the way that he necessarily plays, although he does play similarly, skillful flair, but he's an absolute shithouse. You know, he is a tough guy. He reminds me a little bit of when they used to have Ander Herrera, you know, that little like
rat
dog. Yeah, that kind of guy. No. And they have a lot of them. They have
There's a difference between the dog and being a shithouse and just being a rat shithouse.
Hazard just getting followed around the pitch by Herrera.
You want the rat. You want the guy that's just you love him in your team, but you hate to come against him, man.
So that's third place.
Yeah, third place. Okay, fourth place. We'll go through it. I want to say Arsenal. I can see the eyes digging in. Liverpool finishing fourth. Liverpool fourth.
Oh, so right, yeah.
Arsenal fifth. Tottenham sixth.
So why were you lot all up in arms when
because they're your team.
Because I've heard it now.
Right.
Because it's your team. Your team. That's why I didn't think he was going to pick a team
club
that.
mascot, is it?
He's a football knowledge.
Come on, man. Like,
all right, so just run through them again. You've got City,
Chelsea, Man
United,
Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs.
So all three of us so far don't think that Spurs get the top four. Matisse, what have you got?
Unchanged from the team last week. I'm not changing a thing. I'm not changing a damn thing.
This is a revised predictions video.
I'm going.
It's just the predictions. It's
this
still
is
my
you heard it last time.
I'm
saying it same way to you like I said it last time. City top, Liverpool. I know they're going through it, but I still think they'll bounce back, and I don't think anybody below them is particularly, top depth-wise or doesn't have their own injury struggles. We talk about Liverpool's midfield. Chelsea's midfield have injuries. Arsenal has been hit with some injuries. Tottenham, they don't want to play their new players potentially, in some positions. So everybody's got problems, you know what I mean? So Liverpool, then I'm going Tottenham. I'm going to leave you guys there. Listen, I know you ain't playing beautiful football. They're not playing great football, and I don't think they're going to finish third handsomely. I think it's going to be very tight, but Conte is a domestic. He's a domestics guy. He loves the home turf. He loves the league. Europe, he may even get knocked out.
There's a lot of domestics going on behind the scenes over there.
He may even get knocked out in the round of 16 because his European record is horrendous.
Bear in mind, though, Chelsea, I don't know if you haven't mentioned them yet.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'm going to keep them
So you
fourth.
went on for him for not backing his...
No, I'm still backing. Yeah, but he has them out of the top four. Chelsea in fourth. It's Graham Potter. He's new to the scene. Chelsea have their own issues, though. Chance creation, real creativity in Havertz, not picking up your head, things like that. I'm waiting to see Chelsea improve. Coaching, that's going to take time. It's a new manager, new way of playing, all these things. But they're going to spend in January, so I think they're going to make top four. But again, this is all going to be very, very tight.
Arsenal, fifth and sixth.
Arsenal fifth and United sixth. I know everybody's pushing United up, but they still have Europa League. And the thing is with Man United, their first 11 looks wonderful. Couple injuries, Maguire comes back in, Shaw back in, Ronaldo in. Starting to smell like the same old United very quickly.
I don't like the way you've coupled Ronaldo with those two.
Yeah.
Well,
That's a bit of a violation, mate. This is the second greatest player of all time.
I like what you
Here's
did
a
there.
question,
You
though,
said
for you,
second.
Matisse. Here's a question for you, and again to the table. If
That was for the comments.
Let's just say what Matisse has predicted happens, and we see Graham Potter finishing above Arteta. Surely, and again, I'm not an Arsenal fan, but does that mean that if you're seeing, with all due respect to Graham Potter, he's a great manager, as we know, but this was supposed to be Arteta's top 4 year.
Chelsea probably have a better squad than Arsenal. And you take
So
away,
if he
you take away
finishes
Jesus.
outside the top 4, is Arteta gone?
You take away Jesus, you got Nketiah. You take away Partey, you got Oneni. If you were going to sack Arteta, last season not making top 4 was a sackable offence. Because Conte
run through
was
our top 6 again, because we've got to get on to the bottom 3 as well.
So I'm going City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, United. I wouldn't sack him this year.
Interesting.
I wouldn't sack him.
That's all of our
Leave
top
him.
6 predictions. Let's go on to the bottom 3, and then, of course, after that, we'll talk about the next manager to be sacked as well. So, bottom 3, who did you have at the start of the season, and who have you got now, if it has changed at all? Neither can I today.
Can't remember who I had in the bottom 3.
We'll just do it.
Who were the 3 that came up? I think Bournemouth guaranteed to go down.
Bournemouth,
They're going to be the whipping boys, I think, perennial. Because I feel like this year, for some weird reason, from 10th down, it's up for grabs.
Yeah.
Anyone can go. I don't think Everton will go down this year. I think Lampard will kind of steady the ship a little bit. I think everybody had them as favourites.
Do you think potential takeover by the Americans of Bournemouth could impact their spending in January
late.
and give them a bit of a push, or do you think at
Far
that stage
too late.
it's
Newcastle
too
2.0.
Far too late for me, in my opinion. I think, they will kind of grind some results here and there, but they're going to guaranteed to go down, in my opinion.
Okay.
I think, who else?
Forest.
Forest, I think they've got too much incorporating to do of the players. I think that
25, 26
they
new signings.
they will have similarly moments and games where you think, right, there's a real squad, there's real talent there. They might win a 3-0 against Everton or Aston Villa or whatever, but I think ultimately they will go down as well. I don't know if Fulham will. I think Mitrovic's goals might actually keep them up by the skin of their teeth.
They're in
So
Europe right now.
I
In
think
sixth.
I think there could be a real surprise big team that
I
goes down
agree.
this year. And the one I'm looking at,
I know who you're going to say.
Leicester City.
Leicester.
That's who I knew. You were
I'm
gonna
looking
say.
at
It
Leicester
was Leicester
City
or
in
Everton.
like ultimate free fall mode, in the sense of January, a few more players leave. I think
Who
Brendan
would've thought
Rodgers
we'd be
gets
talking
sacked
about
at
this, by the way. 2 years ago,
Me?
maybe when they won the World
Me?
Cup.
Check
FA
the
Cup.
tweets.
Leicester are one of the
2
most
years ago, I
overrated
said, you don't
teams
want to
in
come to the
Premier
big
League
boys table, we're going to treat you like big boys. And then they said, no, we'll go back to the little boys corner. Here you are now. I told you. Know your role, jabroni.
Bournemouth, Forest, and Leicester.
I hope.
Okay. I'm going to go with Bournemouth as well. I mean, we beat them 9-0 at Anfield recently. And you have to give them credit, actually, because Gary O'Neill, I think his first 3 games, 2 draws and an away win at Forest.
Is that
But-
the same Gary O'Neill that was a midfielder?
Yes.
Scoring long shots
He
for Bolton?
was, yeah.
Portsmouth.
Yeah, and Portsmouth, West
Football
Ham.
manager, 15 on
OG.
corners.
He,
Oh,
he was actually the under-18 coach at Liverpool and then got the job at wherever he was before this.
Fair
and
play.
then now
Fair
he's
play,
got
man.
that job, maybe permanently, who knows. But Bournemouth are in there. I'm really impressed by Fulham at the minute.
Same.
And I think this is where the revised bit comes into play, because I think pretty much everyone almost had the 3
Nailed
to
on.
come up, go down. So I'm gonna say Fulham stay up, and I think I agree that Leicester might get dragged into. If Leicester are in the same position come end of February, it's a massive uphill struggle from there, because March, April, May, you don't really want to have to rely on getting big results in those months. And also, Leicester haven't really, as much as they've been used to flirting with the top 4, they've not really been used to a relegation fight.
No.
So how do the players react to something like that? Where you
I
go,
mean,
listen, we
last-
might have won the
last
FA
season
Cup,
they were
but now
very-
we got to fight for
They
our
were
lives.
mid for like 2/3 of the year, and then back end they kind of crawled it back a little bit. But I feel like that goalkeeper Ward is
Poor.
a
He
suicide
used to be at
jacket in
Liverpool.
goal.
Where's
That is
Schmeichel
just-
gone? He moved to Ligue 1.
He went to Nice.
He's just
Must be Nice.
for 1
Must be
million.
nice.
For one.
And my last team is Forest. Again, agreeing with Fuad, to buy that many players. I mean, you could have, and
Two-
you've got
two
to actually
teams.
spare some thoughts here for the lads that got them into the Premier League that are just standing like this.
Oh, they're
watching
not-
all
they're
these new
not.
people
They're
come
not.
into
A lot of
the
them
damn
actually,
team.
a lot of them got released. They didn't
Yeah.
have a lot of
Sure,
players.
but there was
They're
the
wrong.
captain, Worrell or Wirral, he'd probably get replaced eventually. They've got
Where was he
the
gone?
the Garners that have
Yeah,
gone,
but you got to
etc.
feel for the players that signed and didn't make the matchday squad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm new and I can't even make the matchday squad. What am I doing?
Even with 5 subs.
Yeah, with 5
So that's
subs.
my 3. James, what's your 3?
Again, Forest. Too many signings. Actually, we were here a couple of weeks ago, and I was saying Fulham did that before they signed. They
Yeah.
overhauled their whole squad. It doesn't work. They
Fulham
look
got
too
the
weak.
right balance, though, I think, of
No,
new
I'm
lads.
talking not now. Now
But,
they do.
yeah, 2
before
years
they
ago,
didn't. Before they didn't. Now, I mean, you saw Fulham Forest yesterday.
Yeah.
Fulham just looks so much stronger,
3-2
so much
away
more
win.
complete. Forest look weak for me. Yeah, you know, sometimes you're so deep into the forest, you can't see the wood from the trees. And I think that's what you had there. You signed so many players, you thought Forest
I'll
were
give him
going to
that one.
cruise
I'll
it.
actually give him that one.
Yeah,
That was
damn
quite
right
good.
you'd give it
As
me.
the
And
series
they'll be
prevails, you
giving
needed that one.
and they could be in serious trouble because
Yeah.
they've spent so much going
Always
down.
do a little bit too much.
They've spent so much. If they get relegated, they could have a back-to-back relegation because they're going to be in serious debt with the money they've spent on
Yeah,
these
that
players.
parachute
We talking
payment.
about Bolton, Portsmouth, and vibes like,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
wait.
Wigan.
Luton.
Wigan.
So that's your
Uh,
2.
Bournemouth as well. Bournemouth down.
Forest.
Bournemouth Forest. And I want to say Leicester because I've never really rated them well, but I'm going to have to say Everton. Everton, weak, man. They
would
were very
love
lucky
to
to
see
survive
it.
last year. Very, very lucky to survive. I think they always seem to be doing all right in these big games. You know, against poor teams like Liverpool. Obviously, they're going to turn up, but I don't think Everton will have enough, man. I just don't. Again, weak. Their signings haven't impressed me. They don't seem like a cohesive unit for me, and I don't see them staying up in a
Matisse?
relegation battle.
What he said.
Exactly the same.
Exactly the same. It's a little bit revised. I'm taking Fulham out of this. I'm putting Nottingham Forest in there. I didn't have Forest in there.
Did
'Cause
you
I-
have Everton at the start of the season?
I think I did.
Oh, man.
Maybe I did.
Oh, no, Gordon.
Oh,
DCL
no,
coming
no.
back. They just what's the 2 centre backs they signed as well? Cody and
Tarkovsky.
Tarkovsky.
No
They've
goals
shored
in
it up
this
a little
team.
bit.
It's not enough goals
Still
in this
though,
team,
no
man.
wins yet.
There's no
If
goals
you
in this
crack
team.
the
6 games
code
in,
in.
no
If you draw every
wins.
game, that's 38 points. They
not
ain't got no
losing, though.
goals in this team. It's coming.
Mopai.
Who's going to score?
DCL soon land.
Is he
who knows?
reliable?
No.
Who's
Right,
the other
so
one they
just
signed
to
deadline
run
day?
It's a
through
better
it all.
model than a
Mopai.
striker.
Mopai as well, they signed him. Just to run through it one more time, then I'm going to ask you who is next to get the sack. And I'm going to ask the viewers as well. So just run through your 3 again.
Bournemouth, Forest, Leicester.
I think that's what I said as
Yeah,
well, didn't I?
same as you.
Same,
And
same
then
as
they're
you
the
had.
same.
And then they're the same as well. So we've got a right versus left situation going on. Let us know who you think is right in the comments. And obviously, the nature of the Premier League is a very harsh nature, but that always means pretty much every 6 weeks to 8 weeks there is a sacking. We've already seen who got sacked first. Tuchel, of course. Graham
No, it
Potter's
was,
come in.
Thingy. Parker got sacked first and then
Parker for
Oh.
Bournemouth. So yeah, we've seen 2 already. We're only barely 2
more
months into the
cardigans.
season.
Tuchel tweet
Who
now,
is
it's
the
tears.
next manager to be sacked in the Premier League? I want a name from everyone. Start
It
with
should,
Stuart.
it should be Brendan Rodgers, but he's big payout.
He should walk.
He should walk, but he's not going
He's
to
not
walk.
gonna walk.
He's not
Not
going
going
to
to
walk.
walk because of the payout.
want
Yeah,
them.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't
green.
either.
Yeah, you'd stay well put.
Because I felt like even start of the season, I was saying I feel like almost 15 of the Premier League teams, if you look at them, they've got almost like a manager that you could have for the next 3 years, or they could build around. So I don't know if anyone is really on the chopping block. Like, I think the one under most threat is, as everyone's spoken about last couple of weeks, Steven Gerrard, with the amount he's
2
spent.
wins in a row,
Is he
though.
under-
2 wins in a row now,
2
but
wins
I've
in a row.
said with Villa, it's not just small, short-term form. With that amount of money you've spent, with the squad that he
Style.
has, there's going to be a point where everybody looks at Villa and they're like, what's your expectations? Is it just float mid-table and just spend every year? Or are you actually going to close the gap like Leicester did, like West Ham did, like
Yeah.
Wolves did? Are they ever actually going to close that gap for me? So if he doesn't start doing that over the next 18 months, I've always said my man
Sniffing
Poch
around,
is right
Poch.
there, chilling at home,
You
cup of
you
tea
think
in hand.
Poch is going to go to Villa?
Mate,
No
that's the kind
way.
of job
That's the
he
kind of
Poch
club
would
he
do
goes
that.
to.
You don't go from a Champions League finalist at Spurs to PSG to Villa.
Relax, because he needs a job where the limelight and pressure of
Is off him.
winning is off
It's
him.
another
He can just
Southampton,
focus on
basically.
building Southampton.
Building.
Spurs.
He loves to build.
You can just build a
what he
So
does.
young team.
your
Bob the
name
Builder. Poch
is
the
Steven
Builder.
Gerrard.
I think Steven Gerrard is probably
No
under the
way.
most threat, but I don't think any manager right now in particular is.
So I'm going to throw 2 names out
Klopp.
there, and it's only because chill, relax yourself,
I agree.
and it's only because
Talk about it.
Yeah,
Let's
throw a
talk
little-
about it.
I'm going to throw out, and it's only because I spoke to a Southampton fan recently. I'm going to throw Ralph Hasenhüttl in there. I think there's a lot of reports that he's lost the dressing room. So it'll be interesting to see before the World Cup, does anyone go? Because if you do sack your manager mid-November, you've probably got a month to sort that out under the radar whilst the World Cup's on no attention on
thing
you
is-
whatsoever. So Southampton are there, and Frank Lampard is there. You can't not have him in this conversation if he still has not won a Premier League
Yeah, I
game
don't
this
get how you're
season.
saying Gerrard's under more pressure than
Yeah.
Lampard.
Because
I
I'll
don't
be
see
real
that.
with you.
Lampard
Villa-
spent
He's
a
not
lot
won a
of money.
game for you, Ed.
Lampard spent a
You
lot
see
of
how
money.
much
How
money
much he
Everton
spent?
has
I get
spent?
it. I get it.
He hasn't spent
Hundreds of mils. They came in last year. I mean, there were a lot of
How
loan
much he
signings.
spent?
They
Lampard
brought in
spent- Lampard
Van
spent
Dijk,
100 million.
Van Dijk, Van der Beek, Dele Alli. They
Hold on a
still
second.
They were loans,
reimbursed a
though.
lot of
Once
money.
again, you're not
They were
bringing
loans.
the facts right here.
No,
Lampard
but
has
they
spent
still
hundreds of
backed
millions.
his
How much was
squad.
Van Dijk? How
I
much
didn't
was
say
Van
he's, I didn't say Van Dijk.
Van
First
Dijk.
of
How
all,
much was- how much was Van
I
der
didn't say he
Beek?
spent hundreds
Van
of
der
millions,
Beek,
but
right.
they've
I thought I
still
was
spent a lot
catching
of money.
strays
They've
again.
still
Dele Alli
invested a lot
was
in their squad.
an installment
free
still.
signing.
All right,
It
we're
was
going to
literally
run
a
through
free signing.
this. We're going to run through this fairly quickly.
I think
so,
the
Installments.
expectations are different
Still
for
a lot of
Lampard.
money.
He's expected to survive relegation.
And he's been there for longer.
so what's your
What
name?
are they expected?
Give me a name.
Rodgers.
Rogers. Matisse.
Gerrard.
2 for Gerrard, 1 and
The expectations
from
are
me
higher
from
now.
Lampard, 1 for Hasenhüttl, and a Rodgers for you. I don't think he gets sacked. I think he. Well,
But 1
exactly. We'll
point.
see. We'll see.
1 point
1
after
point.
6
It
Can't
is,
afford
it
to
is
sack
not
him.
good enough. Remember, guys,
a lot of
smash the
money.
like button. Comment with who you think is getting sacked next, as well as your revised top 6 and bottom 3 predictions on DR Sports. Make sure you subscribe as well if you haven't already. We'll be back with another debate soon. Take care.